visibly distressed about it. Maybe read Right-Wing Women and do a little reflecting. If I cannot see how talking points which argue for homeless men to be killed because they are dangerous will negatively impact homeless women too, you are actually just not smart, lol. Do you think anti-homelessness behaviors are going to primarily affect homeless men? Do you really think this will prevent homeless women from getting raped? Yeah. Is this like a meme account or something? Well, it doesn't matter. This take is correct. I don't know if the fucking a meme account or not. The take is correct. One of the reporters who was blinded during the George Floyd protest went off on Daniel Crenshaw. Because I can understand not wanting to be uncomfortable, but I know a lot of people with prosthetics these days, and I guarantee none of them ran for Congress to sell their own eye patches. What? He's selling a fucking eye patch? Yo, that's wild. I mean, hey, I can't say anything. I am literally, legally not allowed to say anything. Okay? I am not allowed to say the things I would maybe allegedly say about Daniel Crenshaw's eye hole and how it got there. Okay? So let's get to the news instead. Attorney General Merrick Garland defends special counsel after Trump's attacks.
Out of Washington, where U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland is responding.
Not legally allowed, but Twitch TOS terms of service legally allowed. Oh, speaking of Twitch, Twitch made an update, which is like kind of good, I think. I haven't fully gotten the details on it, but it seems like people are very happy and positive.
Responding to Donald Trump's attacks on the Justice Department and defending special counsel Jack Smith. Smith, of course, is leading the investigation that led to 37 felony counts against the former president over his handling of documents marked classified. Robert Costa is at the Justice Department for us this morning. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Tony. For the Justice Department, this is yet another standoff with Trump where its integrity is being assailed by one of the most powerful Republicans in the country. And yesterday, its leader pushed back.
Mr. Smith is a veteran career prosecutor.
Attorney General Merrick Garland is speaking out for the first time since the indictment of former President Trump and defending special counsel Jack Smith.
As I said when I appointed Mr. Smith, I did so because it underscores the Justice Department's commitment to both independence and accountability.
His defense comes after Trump has repeatedly attacked Smith.
I've named him Deranged Jack Smith.
On Tuesday, Trump pleaded not guilty to 37 felony counts for allegedly retaining classified documents after he left the White House and failing to turn them over to Justice Department investigators. On the campaign trail, a number of Trump's 2024 rivals are beginning to express concerns about the charges.
I can't defend what is alleged. I know the risk that, as I said, even inadvertent release of classified information about our national security could present to our armed forces.
But while former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley has criticized Trump's alleged actions, she says she would be inclined to pardon him if convicted.
When you look at a pardon, the issue is less about guilt and more about what's good for the country. And I think it would be terrible for the country to have a former president in prison for years because of a documents case.
Other 2024 contenders say, hold on.
It's simply wrong to be discussing a pardon whenever we really have not gotten the facts out.
Despite these legal challenges, Trump and his campaign continue to project confidence, claiming they have raised more than $7 million since Trump was indicted. Still, some sources close to rival Republican campaigns, they tell me they sense Trump is growing increasingly vulnerable. Tony?
And speaking of rivals,
no
Bob,
shit.
It looks like another Republican has joined the race against Donald Trump to replace him on a Republican ticket, and it's another Florida man. What can you tell us about this?
This is the funniest out of nowhere contender on the Republican ticket. I love it, dude. I love it. Miami mayor, Florida man, who also has currently criminal charges against him, has decided to run for office. And he's literally anti-Trump and anti-DeSantis, and openly stated that he hasn't voted for either. Okay? It's such an odd goofball moment. At this point, it's pretty obvious. You literally can't run on the ticket without a charge. Yeah. Who's his base? Every Cuban and Venezuelan person that's over the age of like 30 in the Florida panhandle. That's it. That's like, I feel like he's just there to like try and capture votes away, possibly, which I don't even know if he will, but like try and capture votes away from DeSantis. And his one point of contention with Trump and DeSantis is that he's pro-immigration, which is so weird. Like, what a strange, dude, Republican politics is, American politics is so crazy.
Another Florida man. That's right. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez is set to officially join the Republican president.
For the record, Francis Suarez is like an absolute sociopath. If you remember, friends of the show probably know, Francis Suarez is the guy who very famously was talking about, like, my people yearn for freedom. SOS Cuba. Remember when, like, they tried to do, like, we got a free Cuba shit? And it was, like, big deal. It was a big deal in, like, national politics for, like, a moment, for, like, a second and a half. And he, as a Cuban man, said we need to drone strike Cuba. He's also, this is yet another one of my favorite things, a big crypto bro and a Bitcoin mayor, much like Eric Adams. Yeah, he wanted to airstrike Cuba. Hashtag SOS Cuba, my people yearn for freedom. Like, he actually did the meme. You know how I always say, like, not today, Langley, not today, CIA. Whenever someone in the chat goes, oh, I'm actually Iranian and I want America to nuke my country. Like, I want America to turn Iran into glass because that's what we want as Iranians living in Iran. And I'm like, okay, shut the fuck up. He did that, but for Cuba.
Presidential race today, making it official as the first Latino Republican candidate to join this field. Suarez is one of now 3 Republicans vying for the Republican nomination, joining Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Suarez does have some support in Miami, but this will be his first test on the national stage. And as part of that, he will speak tonight at the Reagan Presidential Library. Tony.
Bob, thank you very much.
All right, joining us now with more.
All right, here it is. Let's get started on our fucking squealing little piglets. Hogwatch is starting with Lindsey Jebediah Graham. There she is.
South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is with us. I think I like this a lot. Maybe we should have Lindsey Graham. Let me finish.
Let me finish.
You know, they call it whataboutism. That's the new favorite phrase of the left and the media and Democrats. Not whataboutism. Isn't it about equal justice and equal application of our laws?
Well, number one, George Stephanopoulos had no idea what I was talking about. I might as well have been talking Chinese. He didn't know that Hillary Clinton's people took a hammer to a BlackBerry. He didn't know they wiped the emails clean. He didn't know that.
This is really funny. It's very like licking your wounds after you got destroyed. Like, it's such a funny thing that everybody does. Everybody loves doing that, where they go back to their own audience and they're like, I actually did not get owned. I mean, he did. He literally fucking did.
Anthony Weiner wound up with classified information on his computer. He didn't know any of that because when the Democrats accuse of something they don't know.
He needs to watch this show. He'll learn something.
Yeah, there you go. I agree. And happy birthday, President Trump, because he's watching this show. So I talked to him. Hey, pal. You had dinner with Melania and Ivanka. We got your back. President Trump, we have your back. This is not about you, it's about us. You could take the Dalai Lama and make him the Republican nominee that try to destroy his life. They hate conservatism. This is a bunch of BS. President Trump, you're going to prevail. You're going to be the Republican nominee, and you're going to be president again. Just hang in there.
Like, what happened? Is Trump? Did Trump catch Lindsey Graham like with some twink femboys or something? Like, I mean, I guess it doesn't take much to like win over Lindsey Graham, but remember Lindsey Graham's best friend, rest in piss, John McCain, died. And Donald Trump very clearly, even before his death, in his last couple of years on this earth, made John McCain's life a living hell by straight up saying that John McCain was tortured and captured and he's a fucking loser for it and all this shit. And like Lindsey Graham was supposed to be this, Maverick style, center right guy, which was always a lie. Obviously, none of these guys are actually like that, and neither is John McCain. But like, he went from straight up like being critical of Donald Trump to very quickly being Donald Trump's best blood boy out there. And he did it as Donald Trump was basically torturing his best friend, John McCain, like he's a part of the fucking North Vietnamese Liberation Front. I mean, it was crazy. It's crazy to watch. He was like trying to play golf with Donald Trump as Donald Trump was like, John McCain sucks.
What do you make? How is it possible the things you were explaining? You don't believe that George Stephanopoulos knew. I give him a little more credit than that. I think he knew damn well about the 33,000 deleted emails. He's heard about BleachBit. He's heard about hammers destroying Blackberries and iPhones. They know all about it. And yet they protect their own. And they're willing to have a complete double standard because the media is basically an extension of all things, radical, new Green Deal, Democratic Socialist Party, are they not?
Right. Yeah, okay. John McCain was great until he became the nominee. Then he was a crazy old man. Mitt Romney was a heartless billionaire who put the dog on top of the car.
Oh, my God. Using Bestie's name like this to defend Donald Trump, that's awesome. I love that.
Here's what I want to tell every conservative Republican. Whether you like Trump or not, it is not about Trump. If you're pro-life and you believe in responsible gun ownership and you want to limit the role of the federal government, you're the enemy of the people. President Trump was one hell of a president on all the things that I care about. They're trying to destroy his life. It's not going to work, and here's what's coming next. Watch for an indictment in Washington, D.C. You could convict any Republican in America of anything in Washington, D.C. He got 5%.
Not really. I mean, Lindsay, Dennis Hastert was diddling children and was the record holder for longest running Speaker of the House. Like, it's not all that easy to convict Republicans, especially Republicans, right? It's just not true. This is just not a truthful statement. You know what I mean?
Of the vote. Here's what I worry about, that Mr. Smith will indict President Trump for January the 6th activity in Washington, D.C. If he does that, that means he has no confidence in the Florida case. I hope and pray that Mr. Smith will not do that, because that will tear this country apart. President Trump has been treated unlike anybody I've known in this business, and I've been around since 1995. What they hate about him the most, he's broken through to working people. He's a threat to the left unlike anybody since Ronald Reagan. And Mr. President, President Trump, talk about the future, pal. We got you back.
Let me ask you a last question. Now we're talking about a New York case with Alvin Bragg. Then you're talking about a Miami case. Now they've been mentioning all day a New Jersey case. Now you're talking about a Washington, D.C. case. I have every belief that, just like in New York, when you have AGs and prosecutors run on a campaign to go after one man, the same thing's going to happen down in Fulton County, Georgia. How do you run for president with all of those legal hurdles in front of you? That's not easy.
So Hillary Clinton said something that was very, I think, telling. They have not yet broken. I can't believe they haven't broken after this. The goal is to find something that will break us from Trump. And the reason they're not going to break us is we see through this, that if Donald Trump took a hammer to a BlackBerry, it'd be front page news. The double standard is real, and they're literally trying to find something to break the Republican Party from Donald Trump. They fear this man. They fear his ability to come back and turn America around. They fear him more than anybody else, and that ought to tell you something about President Donald Trump. The Democrats want to destroy his life because they fear him. And from my point of view, conservatism is in good hands with President Donald Trump, and that's his biggest crime.
God, he's such
Senator
a cuck.
Lindsey Graham, South Carolina, thank you for being with us. Hey, Sean Hannity here.
He's such a fucking cuck. I love that.
Joe Biden does.
The 5 influencers are getting Biden in trouble. Okay, so the 5 is back talking about a story that I wanted to cover for the past couple of days. The Biden administration put a pride flag. Trigger warning, the Biden administration, folks, put a pride flag on the White House. Just understand that the Patriots are not in control, okay? It brings me no joy to report. I repeat, the Patriots are no longer in control. Homosexual agenda is here. Sexual agenda has completely captured the Biden White House. It's the gays and the lesbians and the bisexuals and the transgenders that are forcibly transing everyone now. It's already started. They're yassifying the White House and they're yassifying your children. So, but that's not all. But the Biden administration did something also terrifying on top of that. They invited a bunch of queer people to the White House. A bunch of TikTokers and a bunch of queer people. Some of those queer activists decided to do something crazy. They decided to behave like they're French. That's right, folks. They're not only yassifying our children, they're turning them French by showing their titties. I love that everybody immediately knew what I was talking about when I said they're turning them French. They did the most French thing you can do, which is, show a little bit of booby. Show a little bit of booba. Oh, I thought you meant racist. No, that kind of, if they turned them actually French, and by that I mean racist, they would have loved that shit. Okay, they would have fucking loved it. So let's take a look. Influencers are getting Biden in big trouble.
Really wants to be cool with the kids by inviting their favorite influencers to the White House, but it's causing all sorts of problems. The White House forced to condemn a trans activist who decided to go topless at the president's Pride Month event.
That type of behavior is, as I said, unacceptable. It's not appropriate. It's disrespectful. And let's not, it really does not reflect the event that we hosted.
I mean, she covers her nipples. Come on, guys. We don't have to fucking act like this is, okay. We're not going to sit here and act like this is destroying the sanctity of the White House. But we're also going to not act like this is this is normal, okay? It's not. Come on. Like, no, when the French do it, I make fun of it. Sorry, just because it's like a trans activist doesn't change the reality. Now there's a silver lining to this. There's a positive side to this, and I will get to that in a second. But like, don't be ridiculous. Like, weird take us on. Yeah, I'm weird. I'm transphobic and weird because I said, if you invite a bunch of people personally to the fucking White House and they flash their titties, it doesn't matter what it's for, by the way. Still, it's still inappropriate. Of course it's going to be inappropriate. And of course the White House is going to react this way. I see nothing wrong with the way that the Biden campaign and the Biden White House handled this. I will stand by that, okay? I love titties. I think titties are great, okay? I've said this many, many times. Every time I see a titty, I'm like, thank you. Is this for me? What a wonderful and beautiful surprise. I'm a big fan. But having said that, I still very much understand there are certain places where you can't be showing the titty. Okay? Like, that's just it. It's just, that's it. Certain places where if you show the titty, it's not that big of a deal. It's just like to do a protest, and that makes sense. I get it. I understand it. It's to like try to gain attention, and it's perfectly fine in certain circumstances. I'll still probably make fun of it if it's like to do some kind of protest or whatever. But in this circumstance, of course, the White House is going to say, yeah, this is disrespectful. We're not allowing that. Like, you're banned. And anyone that says you're fucking wrong is crazy. Titties at the AVN Awards, fucking awesome. Titties when you come back home and the person that you brought home from the bar is like, hey, you want to see my titty? That's fucking awesome. Consensual titty seeing is great. Love it, okay? Titties at the White House can be awesome as long as it's in like the White House bathroom. And again, consensual conversations and things of that nature are happening leading up to the titty being out. Titty, when you're welcomed into the White House, when you pop one, when you pop the breastises, not so great. It's not like awful. It's not criminal. It's not something that like the Biden White House should be yelled at over. But, it's just like one of those things that's like, well, is this really the place for it? Does that make sense? Now, of course, having said that, there's a hilarity to this, okay? Because there's a couple different reasons why conservatives, regardless of how transphobic they are, absolutely understand that trans women are women. Because let me tell you, if she was a fucking man in the way that they claim that she is, nobody would get upset. Why are they so upset at a trans woman showing her titties at the fucking White House? Because it's not like they were like, oh man, I can't believe this shirtless man took off his shirt at the White House. They're not saying that. So it seems like you probably recognize that this is a woman. The way that you are fucking chirped about this also 100% shows that trans women are women. So remember, I'm a trans inclusionary radical misogynist, which is why I'm saying, not the place, not the time and place, but hey, guess what? Definitely a woman, okay? 1,000,000%. Because if a man did something similar or a conservative did something similar, I fucking doubt that they'd be this mad, okay? That's it.
To celebrate the LGBTQ plus families. Individuals in the video certainly will not be invited to future events, and this has not occurred before, right? This was not a normal.
Yeah, like you can't do that. You're like representing trans people across the board. I mean, look, I'm not trans. I'm not a trans activist. You know what I mean? But like, it's just not a good look, and you got to understand that. Like, it's just not. I feel like optics in this regard are kind of important. There's an entire nation of people that are like trying to desperately grab on to any kind of fucking, any kind of showcasing of trans existence as like hypersexualized and grooming. And then you doing that is gonna, is a little odd. Time and place, time and place, time and place. Be normal. Time and place, be normal. That's my take.
Thing that has happened under this administration, but we've been very clear about how we saw this particular behavior.
But the topless influencer is not backing down.
Oh, there's a second component to this. Oh, fuck. I forgot. This is the most gender affirming shit that could have ever happened, okay? I forgot to mention this side of it as well. The Surfs brought it up, which is a great take. The right is hyper-focused on a topless trans influencer who was at the White House, but is naturally completely ignoring the trans man beside her. I'm sorry, but this shit is quite literally such a perfect demonstration that all of these fucking morons, 1,000,000%, are like, most of the time, deliberately misgendering people. Because the way that they reacted to this is so gender affirming, okay? Hey guys, you have a dysphoric opinion, a dysphoric feeling for a brief moment? Show your fucking titties. Let's see how, if you're a trans man or if you're a trans woman, let's see how the Republican Party reacts. Literally, you will never feel dysphoric ever again. It's just so stupid and so obvious. Now, you know, that's why I said what I said. I hope you guys understand. Like, I think it's not the time and place for that sort of thing, and I think that it's not a good look for activists, right? But having said that, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, who cares? It's like fucking random people doing this shit. You know what I mean? Who cares? Fucking calm down. And overall, it's been very gender affirming from transphobes who normally would lose their shit and have behaved in the most predictable fashion. They had no issues with a trans man topless, which means they interpret that as men being topless. They didn't cause an uproar over that. Yeah, no, of course not. Wasn't that the entire point? She was hiding her nipples because she couldn't be arrested for showing them despite being AMAB, while the dude next to her is AFAB and should be arrested according to conservatives? No, I get that that's the point. I know that that's the focal point of the argument. It's just that no matter what happens, like, that is going to be seen bad and poorly. Again, public toplessness is legal in D.C. is not the reason why I'm saying this. That's why I said time and place, right? Like, you're in the fucking White House lawn and you've been personally invited as activists to attend the White House. Like, that's different. Come on. I don't know why people just, like, literally go, who cares? It's legal. Okay. Like, I don't really get this. Pissing in the toilet is legal. Go piss on the fucking White House lawn. See how that works out. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't get it. Like, it doesn't matter if something is, like, legal. We're talking about optics in general. Yeah, if they hadn't been there as guests, but specifically went there to do this demonstration, it'd be completely different. If they were doing it, like, not at the event or not at, like, not inside of the White House lawn, like, you know what I mean? They're not like the people that infiltrate shit like this and then do stuff like this. I see some chatter saying they're just titties. People, this is not the time in the USA to try to push European values like boobies out being normal. When they want all gays to not exist, they're going to use anything they can for ammo in its perfect climate politically and culturally to make it a bad thing. I will say, however, that there's one aspect to this, and it is the fact that, passing does help in the way that it's received by the audience, because there was the Jesse Kelly tweet I'm going to talk about, but hold on, I got to grab my food real quick.
I had zero intention of trying to be vulgar or be profane in any way. I was simply living in joy, living my truth and existing in my body.
But sadly, this isn't the first time the White House got burned by the influencers.
This is a day in my life as a White House intern.
Hey, Jenny. I booked you a nail appointment, love.
Yeah, I didn't tell you to do that.
It's called Initiative. Hi, White House. This is Cooper. I don't think so. Oh, doesn't matter. And Jen, don't forget to have fun.
And me too. I'm here at the White House. I hang out here once in a while. I'm glad he's here.
So, Greg, as you know, when you visit the White House, there's a whole list of rules you have to follow about what you can bring, what you can't bring, what you have to do. And now there's going to be fine print that says, please don't take your shirt off and fondle yourself.
Yeah, her breasts are just like the Biden administration, fake, inflated, and built on deception. By the way, it's not about trans. It's about the artificial
Oh my God, that was so... Oh my God, it got zero laughter in the room. Even Jesse gave a pity. Oh God, boo this man. Boo this man. He is so bad. He is so fucking bad, dude. Why is he so bad at this? King of late night. Motherfucking king of late night, brother. The GOAT. The GOAT. The actual fucking GOAT. You know he wrote that shit down and thought it was fire? He wrote it down. He wrote it down. By the way, it's always funny when they do the wide shot because you can see little Greg fail to fucking touch the ground with his little feet.
Elevation of this noxious.
Like little Greg always having a hard time in his little booster seat. Oh, yeah. It's great, man. Yeah, Greg needs a booster seat. You need to be subscribed to the top of the hour. These are things that we all need. There's no reason to make fun of people for it, okay? Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. You can also get boosted to no longer see the ads by getting gifted a sub. That's kind of weak, but it's fine. I really couldn't find a better segue, and it's 10 minutes into the top of the hour, so I got to run it now. Here is the 3-minute ad break now. Let's continue.
Thing called the influencer. It's somebody who monetizes. I'm doing this for the viewers. Okay, here I go. It's about monetizing their social media following by pushing products, but they build their following by doing outrageous, attention-seeking, narcissistic endeavors. It's the turf
Bro,
of
that's
every
literally what
obnoxious
you
bozo.
do.
Really, I think I should be doing it. But so it's like every time an influencer enters the picture, everything goes wrong. The problem with the White House is they're too stupid to know that. But it's also a funny thing that, like, well, number one, I wish that this had happened on January 6th. Yeah. Because there wouldn't have been any outrage, of course, if those breasts would have been real. But these stories of trans are out of...
Is he fantasizing about some Deborah pussy right now? What's going on? He said those breasts would have been real. Oh my God. I would have loved me some fucking wine mom titties, dude. Have you seen the January 6th rioters? Like what they look like? You fucking psycho.
Proportion to the real impact that issue has on American lives. Have you noticed that? It's like we're talking about the tiniest numbers so small that we don't even know what they are, right? Because they're afraid that they'll be really smaller and you won't have an issue to push. But whether you look at sports, whether you look at bathrooms.
Dude, I love that. I love that. He's saying, yeah, no, it's true. Exactly, Greg. Why do you talk about it so much? Why are you admitting that you're a fucking freak that can't get trans people out of your goddamn mind? Like, why is no one receiving that this is like the actual mania setting in? It's true. I make the same argument all the time. It's like a fucking 1% of the population, 99% of discourse. Why? Why? Holy fuck. Just let trans people live, man.
Military, beer advertising. Now, the White House, this is what happens when you elevate an identity beyond the proportion it merits. Then you end up with charlatans coming on and trashing it just like that. And she is living her truth. But imagine if anybody could say they're living their truth when they're doing something really awful.
Yeah. Dana, for me, it's like, it's just not about you.
This is what I mean. It's like, it's not really awful. Also, I told you, accidentally correctly gendering a trans person is so common. I'm telling you.
Like,
they're doing something really awful.
Yeah.
Imagine if anybody could say they're living their truth when they're doing something really awful.
Yeah. Dana, for me.
Wait, where is it? Hold on.
Then you end up with charlatans coming on and trashing it just like that. And she is living her truth. But imagine if anybody could say they're living their truth when they're doing something really awful.
He actually caught himself and correctly gendered her. That's crazy.
Go to the White House and respect where you are, but I guess if you're this kind of influencer, it is all about you all the time.
It did make me wonder if the Bud Light marketing director ended up getting a job at the White House, because that's about how bad it was. And also, what did they expect?
It's weird to say, but like, I'm not even kidding. Fuckability is like, it's so sad that trans people are so fucking dehumanized that like, fuckability is unironically a trait that literally causes these fucking psychopaths on the other side to like correctly gender you. It's so fucked up for trans women. Yeah. Well, trans men have a bit of an invisibility buff in that regard. It's still, so obviously transphobia still impacts trans men as well, but like there is the literal fucking patriarchal constructs that unironically help in that regard for trans men in ways that it like, I mean, you just saw it. No one is fucking talking about the trans man that was next to her. He had his titties out too, and not a single motherfucker got mad at that. That's literally, these are the same people that used to say, male presenting nipples, that's such a dumb thing. Bitch, there you go. There's some male presenting nipples on the one side and some fucking female presenting nipples on the other, and you lasered in on the fucking breast disease. That is straight up because of it's misogyny. That's it. That's what it is.
TikTok influencers, the way that they get views and monetize is by being more outrageous than the person before.
Yeah, you could say that about, again, Fox News commentators.
Or the video before. And the Biden campaign announced 2 weeks ago that they actually plan to run the basement campaign with the help of influencers. So I think they knew exactly what they were doing. Plus, this happened on a Saturday. We don't get this was inappropriate until Tuesday. And I guess the White House isn't very proud of all of this. And on the rules thing, in a way, maybe you could have some pity. Like, did no one ever teach this person that common decency governs a society? Forget, like, the White House is a special, really important place in American history. And they would prefer to get likes and views than to be dignified and gracious and to be in awe that they even get to be at the White House.
What would you have done if it happened when you under your watch?
I would have screamed. It would have never happened.
You would have tackled?
Yeah. It would have never happened under Dana's watch. Jessica, there were children present for this nice viewing portion of the event on Saturday.
But there was no breastfeeding, so that was good.
Right.
I was shocked. It seemed like a really bad look. No judgment on the surgery itself. But obviously, you're at a very important event, and you're representing an issue that's incredibly important to your community. So you want to put your best.
Do you see what I'm saying, though? Do you see what I mean? It's like, common decency, as they argue why trans women aren't people. No. Everyone knows they're fucking freaks. She is the liberal on the panel. Okay? Like, you are not going to get the fucking broadest majority of Americans to look at a situation where even if you are a cis woman and you do this, you're not getting any kind of fucking positives here. You know what I mean? There's no upside to it other than, again, feeling gender euphoria, I think, when you have the entire nation of transphobes go so fucking ape mode over you because you are a woman and you showed your titties. And like, protest is supposed to be disruptive and you know, get people thinking and all this stuff, but like, ultimately it's like the situation at hand. I feel like if she snuck into like a Trump White House thing like this and then did it, that would be infinitely better. Why do I mean this? Because she's obviously not welcome there. She's protesting a transphobic administration. Like that bangs, you know what I mean? Because that makes sense. But when you come to the White House, when there's a fucking pride flag behind you, and the Biden administration invited you there as like an important activist slash influencer, and you do it, then you're basically fucking over the minor attempts that the Biden administration is trying to put forward as they've like decided you're an ambassador. You know what I mean? Caught the chuds and a Biden has done her job. Fuck Joe Brandon. That's no. Fuck Joe Brandon is correct, but like not when they've invited you as an ambassador for trans inclusivity. What do you mean? Ultimately, it just shows to the rest of Americans who are geared towards transphobia to begin with, like that, you know, this is what you get when you do trans inclusivity. Now, they didn't need this to fucking be transphobic. You know what I mean? They didn't need this person to show their titties to be fucking transphobic. They're transphobic anyway, but it doesn't help. That's it. Because there's always like people in the margins that you can win over somehow.
Foot forward on a day that's honoring people who are part of the LGBTQ plus community, but especially for transgender people who have gone through a lot in their lives to be able to get to the point where they're living their truth, as she said it. The apology could have come on Monday. It should have come right away, but the use of influencers is smart. I understand that this backfired, but if you want to make sure that young people are getting out to the polls, you want people who they follow to say, these are the politicians that I'm supporting, these are the things that they stand for, and you should be too. And I believe that if there are Republican TikTok influencers, there probably aren't as many as liberals, then they're going to be used by Republican politicians as much as possible. All of those, the college campus kids that we see on here, like CJ Pearson, I think is one of them. It's kind of the same thing, right? That you find someone who's young that connects with the community that you're trying to go after, and you have them on TV.
It's not a connection.
Should they have?
This is a bad connection. By the way, don't you find it ironic that you commend somebody for living their truth who has fake breasts? I mean, how is that living the truth by deception? Those aren't real.
Yeah, it's a guy that got a boob job.
No.
I mean, Jesse's hair, he's not living his truth because that's fake.
Don't you wish that they probably.
Wow. First time Greg said something valuable and good. Fucking got him. Why are you inhaling food like it's your last meal every time I join the stream? Because I want to eat as fast as possible, because there's a lot of fucking stupid people that don't understand that I eat at the same time every single day, and I eat the same meal every single day. So instead of having to address the same idiotic baboon brain point 700,000 fucking times throughout the course of an entire year, I try to like scarf it down as quickly as possible so I don't have to fucking address it.
I really wished that they had banned TikTok before this event, but they didn't do it. So
yeah, China got to see the moobs before everybody else, because that's all that TikTok thing is.
Did you just?
It's a Chinese spy app, moobs, man boobs.
Okay.
I love how Binder says this is unacceptable, but it's acceptable if this person flashes your children at a drag queen story hour. They have books that they.
Brother, I don't know what the point is, actually. I don't even know why I would address that. Like, one, you made that up. Two, drag queens are predominantly fucking cis or trans men. Okay? Like, that's literally what. Like, drag queens are men. Okay? They're men. They're men who are doing theater. Okay? You're just so fucking confused about, oh God, I don't know why I'm doing this. God damn it. There's no reason to explain this. And two, yeah, if someone does that, if someone flashes your child, that's just separately illegal, okay? You're describing an illegal thing. It doesn't matter. It's not about being trans. It's not about being gay. It's just illegal.
They banned in Florida of transsexuals letting it all hang out there. They're okay with that. They're okay with this at parades. They're okay with this in front of kindergartners, but not at the White House. How is that okay in your kid's classroom or at a drag queen story hour or at a parade on public property, but not at the White House? You can't answer that question.
It's like, I can if
No,
it's
you
not
can. Okay.
I can't answer that question because you made all of those things up. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Jesse? Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't, like, he just straight up said like 11 completely made up things. Oh, I hate it when trans women are showing their cocks to me and I just am forced to suck them at the school bus. I hate when that happens all the time. I fucking sure wish I wouldn't have to suck trans woman cock at the school bus every day. Please stop. It's like, dude, what are you saying? No one fucking is doing this. You just made this shit up. You just made it up, and now you're like, address my problem. Address my issue right now.
Okay, I'll give you the floor. 10 seconds, go.
People are making decisions about where they take their kids if they do go to drag queen story hour, which is such a niche thing, by the way. It's kind of a BS argument to be making.
3, 2, 1. Not quick enough. This was Hunter's laptop on the South Lawn. Everybody's seen Hunter putting chicks in chokeholds.
I'm sorry, what? You should be able to tase him. I'm advocating for this. If Jesse Waters pulls some shit on a co-host like that, you should legally be allowed to get up and pepper spray him in the face. I am literally, as a misogynist, as a resident misogynist, okay, that was the most unhinged, unadulterated, unfettered misogyny I have ever seen in my entire fucking life. That was insane. I promise you, Jesse Waters was walking around pulling his nuts out after watching Waiting like every other guy during his college years. He probably still does. Oh, 100%.
He's dangling job offers in cash in front of his workers. This is disgusting.
How did you get to Hunter? How is that conceivable?
Hunter called her right after this.
Because this is not unacceptable. This is totally acceptable for the Biden
A lot of people
administration.
saw the video and thought it was from Hunter Biden's laptop.
And also, how
there you go.
transphobic is Joe Biden? He doesn't sniff her hair?
No, I think he got a sniff.
I think he did.
He
I
got
think
a
he
sniff.
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
I hate these fucking freaks, dude.
Many Americans are sick and tired of so-called junk fees, those hidden extras that are often tacked onto everything from hotels and airfares to concert and sports tickets.
My ticket cost me $647 plus $200 in fees.
These extra expenses leaving fans of big stars like Taylor Swift in a haze this summer. Some
This is actually fire. Like, straight up. By the way, watch this space. This is the type of shit that the Biden administration should be doing all the time. This is the type of shit that any administration should be doing all the time if they want to be reelected. And I never want to hear if this actually pulls through, I never want to fucking hear from dumbasses ever again that say stuff like, well, what kind of power do they have? Well, it turns out they do have power, okay?
Turning to social media to vent about the steep fees to see their favorite artists live.
2 regular tickets for a Drake concert cost over $1,000. Oh wait, no they don't. It's just the service fees.
One government study suggests primary and resale sites on average add 27% and 31% on top of the ticket's price respectively. This morning, President Biden amplifying his call for transparency, meeting with representatives from several companies, including Live Nation Entertainment, SeatGeek, and Airbnb, all of which the White House says have committed to end surprise fees by fully disclosing fees to consumers up front. Something he first tackled in his State of the Union.
We're tired of being played for suckers.
The excess charge.
Nice. If that's all they get, that's crazy. Okay, I spoke too soon.
Charges. One point of focus of a hearing on Capitol Hill in January, as senators press Ticketmaster's parent company Live Nation about them.
Recent study found that for some tickets, it's as high as 75% of face value.
And it's not just for shows. The White House says it's working to address junk fees in every sector of the economy, hoping to save Americans from shelling out nearly $65 billion extra dollars. The Biden administration says it's working with federal agencies to lower bank overdraft charges and a proposal to cut credit card late fees by 75%. The new rules would also require airlines to show the price for all extras, like checking a bag and even in-flight Wi-Fi.
We're really trying to ensure it is an honest marketplace.
Bro, I hate this. Price transparency doesn't fix this problem. You need like actual fucking... God damn it. You need to do something else, dude. I hate that like they have to fight for price transparency. Like the idea that like you have to even fight for that is insane to me. Just say tomorrow, do it. And also do another thing and be like, no, actually, we're eliminating hidden fees. If you ever charge another hidden fee ever again, I am going to send the IRS after you. I am going to take the IRS and shove 85,000 armed IRS agents so far up your fucking asshole that you are going to know, you're going to start smelling colors, okay? You're going to know exactly what the inside of the fucking IRS looks like because it will be your outside and your inside. Like, do something. Do anything. Please, Jesus Christ, like, threaten them. Reasonable price caps would solve so much of our economic problems. Don't allow companies to charge more than double the cost it takes to provide a product or a service, direct materials, direct labor, overhead expenses. Yeah. Well, it wouldn't because that's anti-capitalist.
Where consumers know how much they're going to pay for a good or service. And
then trust bust. All of this stems from the unfortunate reality that this is a trust, okay? This is a monopoly. This is corporate consolidation that has created this issue.
So we reached out to the companies mentioned in the White House's announcement. SeatGeek called President Biden's announcement an encouraging step forward. StubHub says it's working closely with Congress to pass legislation that applies a uniform standard across the industry. And Live Nation said it will launch all-in pricing come September.
Kaylee, you know, everyone hates these junk fees. In the meantime, what can folks do to protect themselves from these things?
Yeah, well, for starters, pay by credit card, not a debit card. Some of these junk fees are actually easier to dispute with a credit card company. And make sure you read the fine print, stating the obvious, before you hit pay. And then keep copies of all your receipts, agreements, emails, and text messages. But if one of those extra charges pops up and you don't understand it, ask what it's for and get that clarification in writing. And if you feel that that fee is misleading or wasn't disclosed, you can file a complaint with the company, your state's Office of Consumer Protection, or the FTC. So you got options, right?
All right, some good tips there. Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you.
Still ahead this morning, what you need to know about a dietary supplement. It's going viral. Some people are calling it nature's Ozempic. Is the hype real? Is it safe? Does it work? We'll talk about it all with Dr. Torres.
But for
Here's what you need to know to protect yourself.
Wait, what?
3, 2.
Jennifer DeStefano spoke on Capitol Hill this week, hoping Congress can help find ways to regulate.
Oh my God, they accidentally kept this in.
Thank you.
That's so funny.
Damn, this guy's good.